You heard the president, Senator Corker. What do you think?
Well, Wolf, I've been urging for some time that the president come to Congress, and I'm glad he has made that decision. Look, I knew early on they wanted to go ahead and take military action, so that part was not a surprise. But coming to Congress, to me, at this point in the history of our country, is exactly the right thing to do. And I just sent an email to the White House Chief of Staff. Obviously, I was on a call with the Situation Room a little bit earlier today before the speech, but they now need to use every ounce of energy they have to make a case to the American people and to Congress, but to do both. I feel like that case has not been made, and I think you know that I support a surgical proportional response to what has happened. I do want to know how that's going to be carried out. I know that Congress is not going to know every detail of that. That's not typically the way things occur. But the way the resolution reads, what they're going to do, all those things are important. And again, I hope the president, he's not going to talk about those things obviously publicly. That's not appropriate. But the president now has a big case to be made. I hope he'll use every ounce of energy to make that case. I think that's important for our country. I think that's important for the world.
If the vote were today, how would you vote, Senator Corker?
Well, again, I want to see the resolution. I sent an email off quickly wanting to see what it is that
what
they
if
wish
what
to
if
have
what if we're
authorized.
what if it were simply an up or down vote? Do you authorize the President of the United States, in response to the Syrian government's use of chemical weapons against its own civilians, do you authorize the President to use military force against targets in Syria?
Well, I've been out, on the front of this all along supporting a proportional surgical strike. I do not want to see boots on the ground. As a matter of fact, I don't want to see anything, Wolf, that alters our stated policy, which is to enable the vetted Syrian opposition through equipping and training to continue to carry this out and to tilt the balance. And I want to see that happen. I will say I was just in the area 2 weeks ago, and arms had not been flowing. No ammunition is flowing. So I'm dismayed at our lack of support for the vetted opposition at this point. But on an up or down vote, again, I do want to see the details, but I've been on the front end saying that I think this is an important thing for us to do. But now, very, very important for the president to make the case to the American people and to really get his heart into this. I saw his PBS interview the other day, and I have portions of it, and I just did not think that he was saying those things that are important for the American people to hear. So, look, I've been very involved in this. I was just on the Syrian border of Turkey and Jordan. I was just in Iraq. I see what's happening in the arena. Not every congressman, not every senator, obviously, has taken the time or had the privilege of going and being able to do that. So it's very important for our president, again, to use every ounce of political capital he has to sell this, and I hope that's what he's going to be doing over this next week.